Hello, Internet. If you're an American, you've probably had this thought before. Well, things are getting pretty bad, and I'm going to convince you why, even in the worst possible case, you should still enjoy your life. All right, so first, people have been talking about America sliding into fascism and authoritarianism since its inception, right? People have known about it, people have seen it coming, and somehow it keeps happening. We're not doing anything about it, right? Like, we the people, we have power, there's more of us than there is of them. Okay, so why haven't we done anything? You know? I don't think that we should be placing the blame on ourselves when it's a futile endeavor. There's no possible way that we could have prevented this from happening because this is the purpose of America. Don't forget how America started. Colonizers came to America, colonization happened. They attempted to eradicate all indigenous people and force them onto reservations so that they essentially won't be participating in American capitalism, right? That was the goal. And they can do their own thing here. So, that doesn't sound like a very good start to a nation. That doesn't really sound like community building. It doesn't sound like a healthy body of power. It's bloodthirsty. It's always been that way. I didn't choose to be American, but I am American. And you didn't choose to be American if you're American watching this video, but you are American. That doesn't mean that you are America. You are not responsible for these atrocities. You are just benefiting from the result of them. That is true. But again, if everybody knew this was happening, why didn't we prevent it from happening? Because we can't. Because there's nothing we can do and nothing we could have done to prevent this from happening. And I'll explain why. Why do you think we go to other countries and just destroy their country? When I say we, I mean America. Why do you think America goes to other countries and just completely destroys them and leaves them desolate? Or why do you think America assists other countries or nations in eradicating people? Because they benefit from it. It's good for them. They benefit from doing that. But I didn't decide to do that. Did you? I didn't tell them to go do that. I wish that they didn't. I think everybody wishes that they didn't. But they do. And it doesn't seem like they're going to stop anytime soon. And I don't think it's a problem to be aware of these things. I don't think it's a problem to feel for these things. But a lot of people let the world's problems that they have nothing to do with ruin their personal life. Now, obviously, everybody is in a different position in life. Again, I'm talking specifically in the context of America. Everybody knows about wealth inequality. People are out here struggling. That's real. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy your life. It's crazy to say this, but you're allowed to be happy in the face of horrible shit happening in the world. I don't know the band Idols that well, but they have an album called Joy as an Act of Rebellion. And I think about that all the time because I really do believe that that's true. And what's ironic is they're not even American. So it's not even only happening in America. I can only speak from the context of America, though. Being joyous and enjoying your life is almost seen as an affront to progress. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane? You wanting to go out in the world and love the life that you live is seen as an antithesis to progression for a lot of people. And you think that this is not fascism. You think that we are not being controlled to think what we're supposed to think, what they want us to think. Isn't that crazy? And the craziest part is especially now with social media, they don't even have to do that much. We police each other. They don't have to directly police us. They are through propaganda, and they are through, what they're doing, but we police each other. We want to end the police state, we got to end ourselves in that, because we are all part of the police state. We all police each other. And you think this is democracy? You think, how many people actually live and let live? Almost nobody. Because living and let living, again, is seen as an affront to progress. Because you're not doing anything. You're not helping people. You're not posting infographics on your Instagram story so that everybody that follows you knows that you're a good person and you care about other people. That's all that is. Virtue signaling. It's a term you all know. Rampant in America. All over social media. Everywhere. In person too. A lot of people like to say oh yeah, there's crazy people on the internet, but they're not like that in real life. Yes, they are. Have you been outside? Have you talked to people other than the people that think the same things as you? They're fucking everywhere. They really are. And it's just funny to me that people think that voting still matters. Again, I know I'm coming off as negative and maybe even pessimistic, not empathetic, whatever you want to call it. This is all real. Isn't it crazy how me saying that you should care less about what's happening? All right, not care. You should be less invested in what's happening in other places other than your own community. How many people, maybe you're one of them, or maybe you know them, how many people, all they do is talk about the problems in the world, and they can't even have a conversation that in their own family without arguing? They can't even have a conversation with their roommates. Democracy doesn't even exist in their own home. Democracy doesn't even exist in their own family. Democracy doesn't even exist in their neighborhood. So many people talk about the problems in the world and the problems in other countries, things that we have no control of, and they don't even know their fucking neighbor. Do you see how this is all backwards? We're being pulled apart, and we're letting it happen because both sides have their reasoning as to why we should pull apart. But we should be coming together. But we're not, and we never will. At least not enough to take our country back, whatever you want to call it. Both sides feel that to some degree, right? Everybody wants their team to win, but nobody's communicating with each other. We're not talking to each other, right? So I think that you should enjoy your life. You should do what you want to do. You should eat Taco Bell. You should smoke cigarettes if you want to. I know that sounds stupid, but do what you want to do as long as you're not harming other people. What's the problem? Why are you not allowed to be happy? Pick a country in your mind that's bad. I'm not even going to give examples because you're just going to think of one in your head. Whatever political ideology you believe, there's another country that you perceive as being the worst. Just think about that one. Think about that one. Think about the worst one that you can possibly think of based on your beliefs. You think there's nobody in that country that's happy? You think there's not a single person that's living their lives and they're happy? Just because your government is doing things you don't agree with doesn't mean that you shouldn't be happy and you shouldn't live your life the way that you can. Because guess what? You're going to die. I'm going to die. People talk about all the time. I'm a millennial. A lot of millennials talk about, I would never want to bring a kid into this world. This world's too messed up. Okay, so you're just self-imposing population control, right? That's what it is. You're a victim of propaganda. The world's fucked up there's so many other places in the world that are even worse than America as far as day-to-day life. They're still having kids. If you don't want to have kids, don't have kids. But I'm saying, like, do you see how we're policing each other? We're enforcing authoritarian ideals onto ourselves. And we think we're being righteous about it. No. It's just so stupid to me. And it used to, obviously I'm very agitated and I'm elevated right now. But I've accepted the fact that people will just never understand. And even knowing what's happening and being aware of what's happening and wanting things to be different is not understanding. Because if you really understand, you would know that there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. You want to overthrow the government? How? How are you going to do that? Even if you're a leftist with a gun, how are you going to beat the right-wing nut jobs? How are you going to beat the police? How are you going to beat the military? How are you going to beat tanks, bombs? I'm all for being idealistic. I am. But you have to worry about what you can control. And what you can control is your own actions. And your own actions will affect your immediate community. Right? America, right? The country. It's a concept. It's not real. We live on land that we have deemed America that was stolen from Native Americans. That's where we all live. Whether the structure of American government exists or not, this land will be here and we will all exist on it and live. If America disappeared tomorrow, we would all still be living in our houses, right? It's not just going to go away overnight. So why are you waiting until everything is destroyed to do something about it? That might seem hypocritical, but I don't mean like try to change America. I mean, do something to make your life and your immediate community's life better. Why are you waiting? Everybody would rather just scroll on their phone and be like, oh, man, that's horrible. Let me show my friends on my Instagram story how horrible this is. Man, I can't wait till America is destroyed. Why would you say that? Why would you want that to happen? Like, you guys think it's just going to be great? America's just going to, like, the structure of American government is just going to disappear and everything's just going to be perfect? No. Things are going to get way worse. So much worse. And guess what? It's going to happen. There's a lot of things that you are going to face in your life as an American that are going to be horrible. But you won't be able to do anything about it. That is just the truth. I'm sorry to say it. And I know this is probably going to not resonate with certain people, but I'm done caring about that shit. Honestly, I've never cared about that. I've told myself I don't care about it, but I always have cared about it. And it always has bothered me when people just are so self-righteous and don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, it's okay for you to learn about something and not immediately make it your identity. It's okay for you to be a student. Everybody doesn't have to be a fucking leader. Again, controversial opinion. You don't have to learn about something and immediately become an authority on the topic. You can just learn. You can just listen. Because there are people that know a lot more about this shit than you. Myself included. I'm not claiming to be an authority on a topic. I'm not trying to change your mind. I am just expressing how I feel and what I see. I'm not expecting everybody to agree with me. And I don't want to just say things for my peers' approval that I don't believe. And I genuinely think that nuance is completely gone. People don't have nuanced opinions anymore. Everything is ideology. And when you have ideology, you don't have conscious thought because you are being told what to believe and you are accepting the ideology and just believing that instead of believing what you actually believe and thinking what you actually think. That is a scary thing in America today. Why? Because we live in a fascist nation where dissent is not something that is wanted. People think that they're dissenting. There's so many, everybody thinks that they're dissenting. Every single person thinks that they are a dissenter in America. And almost none of them are. It's just so stupid to me. Like, it's like everybody thinks that they're like going against the grain. Guess what? The grain was never there. Like, there was no grain for us to go against because they have ultimate control. Like, what other country is as powerful as America globally? There's none. Like, very few. And I'm not the most educated on world politics, but I am a human that is living a life in America every day for 32 years. So I'm speaking from my perception and my experience. I'll never know what's happening in another country. You will never actually know what's happening in another country, ever. So why are you worried about that when there's shit happening outside of your front door and you don't even notice it? Because you're not being told to care about that. People only care about the things that they're told to care about. And they think that they're not victims of propaganda. Isn't it funny how that works? Propaganda is only propaganda if you don't agree with it. Propaganda is rampant in America. Rampant. On both sides. You are most likely being told what you should care about. And you're just not even questioning it. Because everybody around you agrees with it, and you're scared. And that's ultimately what this all comes down to, is fear. Everybody is terrified. And some people don't know how to react. I felt the same way. I still feel that way. I am scared. You should be scared. It's fucking scary out here. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't enjoy your life. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do things that you enjoy. You don't have to be miserable. You don't have to let your mental health go to shit because the world is going to shit. Why would you do that? Why would you just go in the shit direction? It's not virtuous to be miserable. Understanding that the world is a fucking shithole and then still enjoying your life is the ultimate act of rebellion, especially right now. So if you really think that you are a rebel and you're going against the grain, you're dissenting from the status quo of America, enjoy your fucking life. Let yourself have fun. Let yourself do the things in life in your control that you can do. And I guarantee you, if you start to think this way, and you're an empathetic person, which most people are, you will naturally start to help people around you. Because that is what most people actually want to do. Which is why everybody's so focused on other countries in the first place, because they want to help. Of course they want to help. But they're just not fully aware of what's actually happening. And it's not 100% their fault, but at this point, like, use your brain, bro. Conscious thought is so hard to come by. And I know, again, I know I sound crazy. I know I'm going to come off to certain people as completely out of my mind. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. If you think that what I'm saying is crazy, in my opinion, you are a victim of propaganda. And I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. Because you deserve to have a life that you enjoy. And when I say that, it doesn't mean like, oh, I get a mansion, I get a fucking $100,000 car, you know, all that shit. It's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about everyday life that you currently have. There are nuggets of joy that you are passing over because you're being told to care about something else. And that is the main point I'm trying to get across. Sorry, if you guys watch my channel, I don't normally record on my phone, but I just really wanted to get this out as soon as I could. I hope you got something from it. I hope the people that follow me understand where I'm coming from. And if not, please tell me. Again, I'm not saying that you should think what I think. This is just my view. This is my perception. This is what I feel. And I felt compelled to share it. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something out of it. If not, that's totally fine. And I'll see you in the next video.